Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. We do it for the love of gold. Let's explore. Gold. It has captivated mankind for thousands of years. Ever since it was discovered, its unique properties have shined on, literally. For the metal does not react with anything. It maintains its luster, and it is timeless in its beauty and shine. That is what I think was the first thing that really drew man to this metal, is its amazing luster and its ductility, its malleability, its ability to be shaped into any form. And even in the examples that you see before you here, these are merely coins, but each one has a different look and feel to it. And that is because the metal can be alloyed with other metals such as silver or copper to provide a different look and hue. And when you look at it, pure gold has a bright yellow appearance, whereas gold that has 90% gold and 10% other metals tends to have a more orangish hue. Depending on how you alloy and mix it with other metals, gold can appear white. And white gold is quite intriguing as well in its own way. But gold, the pure form or the high assayed form, the high content of gold is quite amazing. And it's amazing not only in its color and beauty and shine, but also in its weight. When you pick up a gold coin, you know you have something of substance and of true value and beauty. It is also a very soft metal, and that is why it is alloyed with other metals out there. In fact, I may have just dented this coin because this is a pure form of gold. This is 4/9 pure gold, but there are higher purities out there. The Royal Canadian Mint makes a 5/9 pure gold coin. But nonetheless, its substance, its weight, its beauty, and finally, its value is something that has stood the test of time throughout history as well. People realize the rarity of the metal, and it is the one metal that throughout history has maintained a constant in its value because of its rarity. Even when they discovered more through the gold rushes of the 1800s and the like, and the mass mining technologies, it is still very rare per capita for the population around the world. Other metals, such as silver in Egypt, the silver to gold ratio was 1-to-1 because silver was not really discovered in that area for quite some time, or it was not thought of or utilized and as a medium of exchange, so it was thought to be a rare precious metal. Now, obviously, silver is a precious metal, but they have actually produced a lot of it, and it is very common compared to gold around the world. And gold has stood that test of time. Even aluminum was thought to be a very, very precious metal at one point until they figured out how to mine it and extract it out of the ground and purify it and refine it. But even metals like that and others that are out there, nothing beats gold. That is why it has this allure to it. And it is a fascinating, shiny, beautiful metal. Even other more rare metals that you find out there, such as platinum, even though it is more rare than gold by a measure of at least 15-to-1, it just does not have the same beauty, and it does not have the same price. It is actually less than half the price of gold as of the recording of this video. And there was a time where it was more than gold, but essentially for quite a while now, the new standard is that gold is the king. of all precious metals. Even if other metals are more expensive out there, they're really not recognized as the same properties for what gold has and why there is this love for this metal. Metals like rhodium and palladium are more expensive, but they're essentially industrial metals used as catalysts in industry. Gold is treasured. It is stored. It has been held by kings, emperors, for epochs and generations. It has definitely stood the test of time. In fact, now it is seen with such great status that even the central bank of central banks, known as the Bank of International Settlements, that transacts between those banks, is essentially designated as a Tier 1 asset on par with and above any other form of payment out there, including the US dollar, which is the king of the world currencies right now. Speaking of currencies and speaking of price of gold, it has fluctuated and it is near all-time highs as of the recording of this video. But you know what? Gold is going to last longer than any currency out there. It has survived currencies in the past. It has survived monetary structures of various different sorts in the past. It has been utilized as money for generations. And it will continue to be. There was a time when gold was very, very inexpensive compared to today's cost of gold. In fact, I'm going to show you an example of a piece of gold that I bought when gold was trading around 300 or maybe a little bit less than an ounce. That's right. This was at a time of a purchase when gold, it's cheap. It wasn't really worth a whole lot. And it's psychology for you. Whenever it's cheap, people don't want it as much. And you know what? Hindsight is 20/20, they say. And this video is recorded in the year of our Lord, 2020. Boy, I wish that I would have bought more gold back then at that price. But yes indeed. Now that coin is going for well over 3 times this amount. And it will continue to probably go up in price the way things are going nowadays. But there's something about this. Whenever the price of something is high, it's valued more. For the love of gold. Yes, indeed. For the love of money. And this is what it is. And but you know what? We don't put the love of anything above each other or God. And that I want to make clear as a caveat as I do talk about this precious metal. This channel is about precious metals, and our admiration for them is merely because of their properties and because they were essentially, they were created by God. And it is termed as God's money. Both these metals have been mentioned in the Bible, gold and silver, but gold especially. In fact, we believe that we will see gold in heaven. But you know what? We don't love the metal more than each other or more than God himself for sure. And we should never put anything above God or each other out there. And that's what makes this community great, is our commonality with things like this precious metal. So though we may be talking about gold and its unique and amazing properties and how it has served mankind for thousands of years, we don't ever forget, where it came from. And gold, they say, comes from the stars, and it has been placed here on Earth after it was formed. And that is quite something and telling about the unique properties of gold out there, for sure. And it's a very dense, precious metal, and we will continue to hold it and to cherish it, but again, with that perspective in mind. So as you continue to accumulate this metal, I just want to present to you this application and this this fact that gold is unique, it's rare, and it's precious, and it's versatile too. In so many different ways that it is utilized. And I hope this video will be of some encouragement for those of you who accumulate precious metals of any sort to diversify into some gold, because it is certainly a stunning metal. And when I see gold, I see God in a way, not in the metal itself. We don't worship any inanimate object of any sort or what have you, but it is indeed a part of His creation. Yes, indeed. Jesus once said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's." Well, in a sense, we do give our metals over to God because they are going to transcend us in time, for sure. This metal will outlive us all, no doubt about it. In fact, some of the gold that is definitely within these pieces may have been around pharaohs of the ages of old in Egypt at one point in time. Who knows? Gold, it can be melted down and reformed in various different shapes and sizes, and has been around for millennia. Fascinating metal indeed. And if you own even just a little bit of gold, you're doing very well compared to the average person these days out there. So I would encourage you to get a little bit of gold if you haven't already. You can buy it cheaply in smaller sizes if you shop around. Even these days, there's something about the power of being your own central bank of sorts if you do own this lovely precious metal. Amazing indeed. I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video about gold here. And I want to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and shine on gold for the love of it. And for you too.